Close your eyes and imagine a wide, quiet road that has carried footsteps for centuries. The air is cool. The sand holds the day's warmth like a gentle blanket. Far off, a small lamp glows beside a low wall. You hear no voices, only the slow hush of wind moving over stone and scrub. Tonight you are not in a hurry. Tonight you travel at the pace of a calm breath. The Silk Road is not a race. It is a long, soft walk through time. Picture the first light of dawn spreading gently across a pale sky. A line of camels appears on a low ridge, not sharp, but softened by distance. Their steps are steady and untroubled. The bells on their harnesses are small, and their sound is like a quiet reminder that life keeps moving. Each traveler carries simple needs: water, food, cloth, and patience. The road ahead is long, but it does not ask for speed. It asks for calm attention, one step at a time. Now, imagine an oasis, a bowl of green in a wide land of tan and gold. The water is still, reflecting palms and sky like a smooth mirror. A few birds rest on the reeds. The air smells faintly of damp earth. Travelers come here not to conquer distance, but to pause. They loosen straps and let shoulders soften. They rinse dust from their hands. They listen to water, the simplest music. In places like this, the Silk Road becomes quiet and gentle, like a slow bedtime story. Think of a stone gate on the edge of a town, worn smooth by many palms. The gate is not grand. It is practical, with a narrow arch and a wooden door that creaks softly. A guard sits nearby, wrapped in a plain cloak. He watches without urgency. A merchant approaches, leading a pack animal, and offers a quiet greeting. Papers are checked, seals are touched, and the traveler passes through. Nothing dramatic happens, just a routine that keeps order. The road continues, calm and ordinary, beyond the arch. Let the night settle in. A few small fires burn low, not bright, but steady. Pots simmer with grain and salt. Someone pours water into a cup and drinks slowly. The sky is crowded with stars, sharp and quiet. Camels kneel, their breath warm in the cool air. A traveler checks the knots on a bundle, then stops, satisfied. There is comfort in simple repetition. The Silk Road at night is gentle. It is a long pause between days. You can rest here, listening to the soft crackle and the calm dark. Morning comes without noise. The road is a pale ribbon between low hills, and the dust sits undisturbed until the first footsteps. A traveler ties a scarf over the mouth, not tight, just enough to soften the air. A camel rises slowly, folding and unfolding its legs with care. Loads are checked by touch, rope pressed, knots tested, cloth smoothed. No one speaks much. Words are saved for later. The pace is set by the animals and the sun. You begin again, with a calm mind and a steady, unhurried step. Watch the small tasks that make travel possible. A leather water skin is lifted and gently squeezed to check for leaks. The stopper is tied with a cord, then tucked under a flap. Dried dates are poured into a cloth bag, and the bag is knotted with a simple twist. A roll of felt is strapped to a saddle frame. A person pats the pack to settle it, then tightens the belt one more time. The work is slow and careful. The hands remember what to do. These quiet preparations are part of the road's calm rhythm. The caravan moves out onto the plain. The ground is firm, scattered with small stones that catch the light. The camels sway gently, their bodies making a slow, even motion. Footprints appear behind them and then soften as wind brushes the surface. A distant hawk circles without hurry. Travelers keep a respectful space between animals, so no one feels pressed. Occasionally, a hand reaches up to steady a strap. The road teaches patience. Each minute feels the same as the last, and that sameness becomes soothing, like counting breaths until the mind grows quiet. Beside the path, there is a small shrine, only a pile of stones and a ribbon faded by sun. Travelers approach and slow down. Someone adds one more stone, chosen from the roadside, not for beauty, but for presence. A short prayer is whispered, barely audible. Another traveller touches the ribbon, then lets it fall back into place. The caravan continues. These small pauses appear along the Silk Road, reminders that many people have passed this way and felt the same tiredness, the same hope for safe passage. The gesture is simple, and it calms the heart. Near midday, the road meets a narrow river. The water is shallow and clear, moving slowly around stones. Reeds sway at the edges. The caravan does not rush the crossing. A traveller steps first, testing the stones with the sole of a sandal. Then the animals are led across one by one, guided with soft sounds and a patient hand. Hooves splash gently. The air becomes cooler near the water, and the smell of wet plants rises. When the last pack is carried over, everyone pauses on the far bank and takes a long drink, slow and grateful. In the early afternoon, a lone tree offers shade like a small roof. The caravan stops beneath it. People sit with their backs against the trunk or against packs piled in a low mound. A piece of flatbread is broken by hand, shared without ceremony. Someone unwraps a bit of cheese, firm from travel, and cuts it with a small knife. The animals lower their heads and chew slowly. No one argues with the heat. The rest is quiet, a simple pause that keeps the journey gentle. The tree's shadow moves gradually, marking time with calm precision. While resting, a traveller notices a strap beginning to fray. He takes out a needle made of bone or metal and a length of strong thread. He wets the thread to stiffen it, then pushes it through the worn leather. Each stitch is slow. The hands pull, tighten, and smooth the seam. The work is quiet and steady, like a small meditation. Nearby, another traveller rubs oil into a wooden handle to keep it from cracking. These repairs are not exciting. They are comforting. They mean the road will remain manageable. Small care prevents big trouble, and that thought brings peace. Later, a square shape appears far ahead, low against the horizon. It is a caravanserai, a roadside inn built like a small fortress. As you draw closer, the walls become clearer, baked brick or stone, with a single gate. The sight brings a gentle relief, not excitement, just the comfort of knowing there will be water and shelter. The caravan keeps its pace. No one runs. The animals sense rest and breathe more deeply. Dust hangs in the sunlight behind you. The inn grows slowly larger, like a calm promise at the end of the day's walking. At the gate, the wooden doors are tall and scarred from years of use. Iron studs catch the warm light. A keeper steps out, holding a small ledger and a lamp that is not yet needed. He greets the leader of the caravan with familiar ease. Names are exchanged. The number of animals is counted slowly. A small fee is agreed upon, often in coins or in goods. Then the doors open with a low groan. Inside, the air feels still, protected from wind. You enter a courtyard where echoes soften every sound, and the day's tension begins to loosen. The courtyard is wide, with a well at its center. Rope and pulley creak gently as water is drawn. Animals are led to a trough, and they drink with slow, heavy swallows. Packs are lowered from saddles and set in neat rows along the wall. A traveller rubs the neck of a camel, calming it with a steady touch. The keeper points to a corner where bedding can be spread. There are small rooms along the courtyard, simple and clean, meant for sleep and safety. The sky above the open square turns pale orange, and the smell of warm brick rises as the sun sinks. In a sheltered cooking area, a few low fires are started. Wood snaps softly, and smoke rises in thin lines. A pot of water begins to tremble, then to simmer. Someone adds lentils or barley, stirring with a wooden spoon. Salt is measured with care. Another traveller warms flatbread near the heat, turning it slowly so it does not burn. The smell is plain and comforting. People sit close, not crowded, speaking in low voices. They talk about road conditions and water sources, simple facts that matter. The meal does not rush. It arrives when it is ready, and the waiting feels restful. Before eating, many travellers wash. A stone basin near the well catches the water. Hands are held under a thin stream, fingers rubbing slowly to loosen dust from the creases. Some splash their faces, and the coolness makes them blink. A cloth is wrung out and used to wipe the neck. The small act feels like returning to oneself. Travel can make the body feel like a tool, but water brings it back to being human. Nearby, sandals are removed and set aside. Toes flex on the cool ground. These tiny comforts build a quiet sense of safety inside the walls. When the meal is finished, bedding is arranged. A rolled mat is unfastened and spread on the floor. A blanket, rough but warm, is shaken once and laid down. A small lamp is set in a niche, its flame steady in the still air. The room is plain, with thick walls that hold the day's warmth. Outside, the courtyard quiets. Animals settle into their rest, making soft sounds of breathing and shifting weight. A traveller stretches legs, then lies down slowly. The mind, used to watching the horizon, can finally turn inward. Here, sleep feels possible and kind. In the courtyard, a watchman walks a slow circle. His steps are measured, not loud. He carries a lantern that throws a small pool of light across brick. Shadows move gently as he passes. The gate is barred. The walls stand quiet and strong. Above, stars hang like small points of ice. The air is cooler now, and the scent of smoke fades. From a corner, you hear the soft clink of a chain as an animal shifts. A traveller coughs once, then grows silent again. Night on the Silk Road is not empty. It is calm, watchful and steady, like a hand placed lightly on the shoulder. Before sunrise, the sky turns from black to deep blue. In the courtyard, the first sounds are small. A rope pulled through a ring, a pot set down, a quiet greeting. Someone draws water and pours it into a cup. Steam rises from warm tea. The keeper opens a shutter, letting a pale beam of light fall across the ground. Travellers fold blankets and roll mats with practiced ease. Packs are brought out and checked again. The road waits outside the gate, patient as ever. This early hour feels gentle, as if the world is whispering. You can move slowly, without pressure, and still arrive where you need to be. Tea begins with water. A kettle sits above coals that glow softly. The keeper listens for the first small sounds, the faint tapping of bubbles against metal. Leaves are measured by hand, pinched and dropped into a pot. Sometimes the tea is strong and dark, sometimes lighter, depending on what is available. The scent rises in the cool morning air, earthy and steady. Cups are simple, clay or metal, warmed by being held close. Travellers sip without haste, letting the heat spread through the chest. The tea does not solve every problem. It simply makes the morning kinder, and that is enough. Outside the Caravanserais, a small market begins to wake. Stalls are built from wood and cloth, and their colours are softened by dust. A vendor arranges dried fruit in shallow baskets, smoothing the surface with the back of a hand. Another sets out small cakes made with sesame and honey, covered with a cloth to keep them clean. A child carries a bundle of herbs, walking carefully. The street is not loud. People speak softly, saving breath. Travellers buy what they need: a bit of salt, a needle, a coil of rope. Coins are counted slowly, and hands meet in quiet exchange. Even commerce here feels gentle, guided by routine. In a corner of the market, a scribe sits at a wooden table. He dips a reed pen into ink and writes in a careful hand. The ledger is thick, its pages slightly curled. Names, quantities, and seals are recorded with patience. A merchant stands nearby, watching, then nodding when the entry is complete. The scribe sands the fresh ink lightly so it will not smear, then closes the book with a soft thump. This is the slow work that makes travel possible. Goods cross long distances because someone takes the time to count, to write, to confirm. The quiet scratch of the pen is like a lullaby of order. When it is time to leave, the caravan gathers at the gate. The keeper offers a final nod, and the bar is lifted. The wooden doors swing outward, and bright light spills into the passage. Animals step through first, guided gently. Travellers follow, tightening belts and settling packs on their shoulders. The courtyard behind grows quieter again, ready for the next arrivals. Outside, the road stretches forward in a calm line. The morning is already warm, but not harsh. Dust rises in a light cloud around ankles. You are moving again, not fast, not slow, but steady. The Silk Road continues as it always has, with patient steps and long horizons. The landscape changes from sand to steppe. Grass moves in waves, bending under a soft wind. The road is less defined here, more a habit than a line. Travellers look for markers, a lone tree, a cluster of stones, a distant hill. The animals seem calmer in the open space, their ears turning toward the wind. Occasionally, you pass a small herd of sheep watched by a shepherd. He raises a hand in quiet greeting and returns to his watch. The sky is wide, and the clouds drift slowly. In such a place, time feels stretched and worries feel small. You keep walking, letting the steady motion smooth the mind. A stream cuts through the grass, narrow and clear. A small wooden bridge crosses it, made from planks darkened by weather. One traveller goes first, listening to the boards creak underfoot. Then the animals follow, led gently so they do not startle. Water below moves around pebbles, making a steady, quiet sound. On the far side, a few wildflowers grow, their colours muted by dust. Someone pauses to look at them, then continues. Bridges like this are simple kindnesses left by people who understand long travel. They save time and effort, but they also bring a sense of connection. You cross, and the road feels friendly again. Along the road, you find a tea house, small and low, built from mud brick and timber. Cloth curtains hang in the doorway, moving gently in the breeze. Inside, the light is soft, filtered through smoke and woven mats. A pot sits on a brazier, and the keeper pours tea into small cups. The sound is quiet, a thin stream of liquid, a cup set down. Travellers sit on low benches, resting their feet. They do not need entertainment. They need warmth, water, and a pause. In this tea house, conversation is slow and polite. People speak of weather and road conditions, and then sit in comfortable silence, listening to the kettle breathe. Tea is prepared with care. Leaves are rinsed quickly, then placed in a clay pot that holds heat well. Hot water is poured in a steady circle, and steam rises like a soft curtain. The keeper waits a moment, counting silently, then pours the first cup and returns it to the pot, blending the strength. This is done again, slow and practiced. Cups are warmed, then filled. Sometimes a little salt is added, sometimes milk, depending on the region and the traveller's taste. Each sip is small, not rushed. The warmth spreads through the body, easing the muscles of the shoulders and the jaw. A tea house does not change the world. It simply gives you a calm place to be for a while. Inside the tea house, rugs cover the floor. Their patterns are worn, softened by many feet. Low tables hold bowls of nuts and dried apricots. A traveller slowly cracks a nut, then eats it, then drinks more tea. Another leans against a wall, eyes half closed, listening to the low murmur of others. There is a small window, and through it you see the road, bright and quiet. A breeze moves through the curtains, carrying the scent of grass and dust. The keeper wipes a cup with a cloth, repeating the motion until it shines. Time passes in small, gentle pieces here. No one hurries you. When you are ready, you will stand and go. Until then, you rest. As evening approaches, the caravan leader checks directions. A simple map, drawn on cloth or paper, is unrolled. It shows rivers, mountains, and towns, more by memory than by exact lines. He traces the route with a finger, then folds it again. At night, he will look at stars, familiar patterns that guide travel when landmarks disappear. There is no panic in this planning. It is calm and methodical. He asks a local about water ahead, and the local answers with measured words. Plans are made in a quiet voice, then accepted. The road does not demand certainty. It asks for attention and steady choices. The leader's calm spreads through the group like warmth from a cup of tea. Tonight, the caravan camps in open grassland. Tents are small and practical, made from felt or woven cloth. Poles are set into the ground, ropes pulled taut, knots tightened with slow hands. A shallow pit is dug for a fire, so the flame sits low and safe. Water is shared carefully. The animals are tied with enough slack to rest comfortably. Someone spreads a blanket on the ground, smoothing it flat. The sky becomes a gentle gradient, orange to purple. A soft wind passes over the grass and makes it whisper. People sit close to the fire, not talking much. They watch the coals settle and listen to the night arrive. There is nothing to solve. There is only rest and the road continuing tomorrow. A pot hangs over the fire on a simple tripod. Inside, a stew simmers. Water, grain, maybe a few pieces of dried meat, and herbs gathered near a stream. The bubbles rise slowly, breaking the surface with gentle taps. Someone stirs once, then rests the spoon on the pot's edge. The smell is warm and plain. Bowls are set out, each one chipped and familiar. When the stew is ready, it is ladled carefully so no one spills. People eat slowly, chewing with tired jaws. Afterward, cups of tea return, and hands warm around them. The fire's light moves softly across faces. A story might be told, but it is quiet and short, more like a memory than a performance. Soon, blankets are pulled close, and the night becomes deeper. After the meal, some travelers lie back and look at the sky. The stars here are sharp, unhidden by city smoke. Constellations are named softly, in different languages, each name carrying a small piece of home. A traveler points to a bright star used for direction, and another nods, remembering a lesson learned long ago. The cold air makes breaths visible for a moment, then gone. The grass beneath the blanket is springy and uneven, but the body settles into it. In the distance, an animal shifts, bells making a tiny sound. The sky does not change quickly. It holds steady, and that steadiness calms the mind. Your thoughts slow down, like a caravan at night, and it becomes easier to let them drift away. Days later, the road climbs toward a mountain pass. The air grows cooler, and the scent of pine appears. Stacked stone markers stand by the path, guiding travelers when snow covers the ground. The ascent is slow. People shorten their steps and breathe more deeply. Animals move carefully, hooves finding steady places on rock. The sound here is different, a quiet crunch of gravel, a distant call of a bird. You can feel the weight of altitude, but it is not frightening. It is simply a change. Travelers stop often, not because of weakness, but because careful pacing prevents exhaustion. They drink small sips of water and keep going. The past does not need to be conquered. It needs to be respected and crossed with patience. At the top of the pass, there is another shrine. This one has strips of cloth tied to a pole, moving gently in the wind. Travelers approach quietly. Some touch the pole, some place a pebble at its base, some simply bow their heads. The air is thin and clean. From here, the view is wide, valleys rolling out like a calm sea of land. The caravan pauses, not long, but enough to let the body recover. Then the descent begins, slow and careful. Going down requires as much attention as climbing. Stones shift underfoot. A traveler uses a staff, placing it firmly. The road teaches steady caution, and it rewards it with safety. The wind carries away any harsh thoughts, leaving the mind clear and quiet. The path follows a river that cuts through the mountains. The water is cold and bright, moving in a smooth rush over rounded stones. Trees lean toward it, their leaves flickering in light. Travelers walk single file here. Packs are adjusted to keep balance. When the trail narrows, everyone slows. No one pushes from behind. Patience is safer. The river's sound fills the air, steady and soothing, like constant breath. Occasionally, the caravan stops at a flat rock to rest. Hands dip into the water and come out tingling. Faces are rinsed. The coolness wakes the skin gently, while the mind remains calm. You continue beside the river, letting its steady movement carry your thoughts along. Near a town, you hear a different rhythm, the steady tap of stonework. In a small workshop, a stone cutter shapes blocks for a wall or a gate. He holds a chisel and strikes it with a wooden mallet, not hard, but consistent. Chips fall in small flakes. The surface becomes smoother with each pass. There is no hurry. The stone has waited a long time already. The cutter pauses to brush dust away, then measures with a simple cord. A younger helper brings water to keep the tools cool. This slow craft supports the road itself, building inns, bridges, and wells. Watching the steady work is calming. It reminds you that lasting things are made by small actions repeated again and again until they fit together neatly. In another corner of the town, potters shape clay into jars for water and grain. The jars sit in rows, drying in the air. Their surfaces are smooth, with faint marks from fingers and tools. A potter turns a wheel slowly, guiding the clay upward with steady palms. The motion is gentle and repeated, a quiet circle. When a jar is finished, it is set aside to dry, then later fired in a kiln. The kiln's heat is controlled with care, neither too fast nor too hot. The potter listens to the fire, watching the color of the flames. These jars will travel too, carried in caravans, filled with precious water. Simple objects, made in calm rooms, support long journeys across wide lands. A weaver sits at a loom, feet pressing petals, hands passing a shuttle through threads. The silk is fine and strong, catching light like water. The pattern grows one line at a time, a slow building of color and shape. The weaver's breathing stays even. The loom makes soft sounds, wood tapping, threads tightening. Outside, the street is quiet, but inside this room, a gentle industry continues. Silk on the Silk Road is not only a symbol of wealth, it is also a patient craft, the result of many calm hours. When the cloth is finished, it will be folded carefully, wrapped, and carried. It will cross deserts and mountains, moving at the same slow pace as the people and animals who guard it. Watching the loom is like watching a calm thought form, one strand at a time. At a spice stall, small bowls hold powders and dried petals. Cumin, coriander, and a few threads of saffron sit in careful piles. The seller uses a tiny scale, balancing weights with a practiced touch. He pinches a bit of spice and lets you smell it. The scent is strong but not sharp, warm and earthy. Travelers buy small amounts, enough to flavor meals on the road, enough to remind them of home. The spices are wrapped in paper or cloth, tied with string. Nothing is wasted. The seller sweeps stray grains back into the bowl with a soft brush. This quiet trade carries flavors across continents, but in the moment it feels simple. A hand, a bowl, a careful measurement, and a calm exchange. In a shaded alley, a cobbler repairs sandals. He sits low, with a leather strap held between his knees. An awl pierces holes in the thick sole. Thread is pulled through, tightened, then tied. The cobbler's hands are strong but gentle. He taps nails into place with a small hammer, the sound quiet and regular. A traveller waits nearby, watching without impatience. Good footwear matters on a long road. Blisters can slow a caravan more than bad weather. When the repair is done, the cobbler rubs oil into the leather, making it supple. The traveller puts the sandal on and takes a few steps, testing it. Then he pays with a coin or a small piece of cloth. The whole moment is calm, a small repair that keeps a big journey moving. The road leads to a city gate built of brick and timber. Guards stand in the shade, not stern, just attentive. Travellers approach in small groups. Names are asked, destinations noted. A seal is pressed into wax, then checked. Some travellers carry letters, others carry only goods and stories. The gatekeeper listens, then nods. Inside the walls, the streets are narrow and cool. Outside, the open road waits. The gate is a place of pause, a threshold. People pass through with quiet respect. Even here, where rules matter, the mood is steady. The Silk Road is made of many such thresholds, each one managed by ordinary people doing ordinary work. You move on, calm and accepted. In the city, evening brings lanterns. Light pools softly on the ground. Vendors close their stalls, folding cloth and stacking baskets. A baker carries trays inside, the smell of warm bread lingering in the air. A traveller walks slowly, taking in the sounds, a distant lute, footsteps, a quiet laugh. There is no need to hurry. Lodging can be found, a room above a courtyard or a spot in a guest hall. In one corner, a fountain trickles, steady and soothing. The city is not wild. It is tired in a gentle way, like a person settling into sleep. You find a place to sit, perhaps with a cup of tea, and you let the day's dust settle in your mind. The world continues around you, but it does not demand you join every movement. You can simply be. Some towns offer a bathhouse. The entrance is modest, with a small sign and a curtain. Inside, warmth wraps around you. Steam rises from stone basins. Water is carried in buckets, poured with care. Travellers wash away the dust of many days. The sound is gentle, water splashing softly, murmured greetings, a cloth rubbed over skin. Muscles relax under heat. The mind loosens too, as if worries dissolve in steam. After washing, people sit on benches, letting their bodies cool slowly. A cup of warm drink is offered, perhaps herbal, perhaps plain. Clean clothes feel light. In a bathhouse, the Silk Road becomes almost invisible. There is only the simple comfort of water, warmth, and quiet rest. In a quiet room, a calligrapher paints characters on paper. The brush is dipped into ink, then lifted, allowing the excess to drip off slowly. The strokes are deliberate. The brush moves with controlled pressure, leaving thick and thin lines that seem to breathe. The calligrapher pauses between strokes, not because he forgets, but because he listens to the rhythm of the work. A small stone holds the paper down. The lamp flame is steady, its light warm. This writing might become a letter, a poem, or a record of goods. The Silk Road carries many languages, many scripts, but the act of writing is often quiet and calming. Watching a brush move slowly can make your own breathing slow and your thoughts settle into a peaceful order. Night returns, and the courtyard is moonlit. A small fountain makes a steady, soft sound. Travellers lie on mats, wrapped in blankets. Some sleep in rooms, others in the open air where the night feels clean. A dog curls near a doorway, ears relaxed. The city's noises fade to a distant hum. A lantern is turned low. In the moonlight, the edges of walls look smooth, and the sky above looks deep and calm. Your own body feels heavy in a good way. The day's miles have done their work. Breathing becomes slower. The mind stops chasing tomorrow. Here, on this ancient route, sleep is not a struggle. It is a natural return, like water settling into a still bowl. At sunrise, the city wakes quietly. Smoke rises from early kitchens. The caravan gathers near the gate, checking loads. A merchant counts bundles, touching each one to be sure it is there. A traveller ties a scarf, then adjusts it again, making it comfortable. Animals are led out slowly, blinking in the light. The gate opens, and the road calls without urgency. Outside the walls, the land stretches wide again. The caravan does not look back for long. There will be other towns, other courtyards, other cups of tea. The rhythm continues, day after day. You step forward with them, feeling the calm simplicity of leaving, moving, and arriving. Now the road passes near fields. Irrigation channels carry water in thin lines, reflecting sky. Farmers bend over rows of plants, moving slowly, hands in earth. The scent of damp soil mixes with dust from the road. A traveller watches for a moment, then continues. In these cultivated places, the Silk Road feels less harsh. There are trees, shade, and birdsong. The caravan keeps to the edge of the fields, respecting the crops. Sometimes a farmer offers a cucumber or a handful of herbs, and the travellers offer a coin or a bit of salt in return. The exchange is quiet and friendly. The road and the fields depend on each other. Travellers bring goods and news. Farmers offer food and water. Life continues in steady cycles, and the mind can rest in that steadiness. Beside the canal, a water wheel turns. It is made of wood, with paddles that catch the current. Each rotation is slow and reliable. Clay pots attached to the wheel dip into water, then rise and pour into a trough that feeds the fields. The sound is soft, a repeated splash, a gentle creak. Travellers stop to watch. The wheel does not need attention every moment. It works with the river's patience. A child sits nearby, throwing small stones into the water and watching the ripples fade. This is another kind of travel, water travelling from river to land, guided by simple engineering. It reminds you that movement can be quiet. Not every journey is made by footsteps. Some journeys are made by turning wheels and steady streams. At midday, the caravan rests near an orchard. Trees stand in orderly lines, their leaves making a soft rustle. Fruit hangs heavy, some still green, some ripening. The ground is cool in the shade. Travellers sit and loosen their belts. A few pieces of fruit are bought or offered, and they are eaten slowly, juice sweet on the tongue. The animals stand quietly, tails flicking at flies. Somewhere nearby, water runs in a narrow channel, its sound gentle. A farmer walks through the trees, checking branches, tying a broken limb to a support. The work is calm and continuous. In the orchard, time feels slower. Even the sun seems softened by leaves. You rest here, letting your mind quiet down with the shade and the steady, small sounds of life. A roadside well appears, marked by a stone rim worn smooth. A wooden beam supports a rope and bucket. Travellers approach with respect. They do not waste water. The bucket is lowered slowly, rope sliding through hands. When it hits the water, there is a soft splash. The bucket is lifted with steady pulls, muscles working in a calm rhythm. Water is poured into cups, then into animal troughs. Some is used to rinse a cloth and wipe dust from a face. The rest is saved. A traveller touches the cool stone rim, feeling its texture, imagining the many hands that have done the same. Wells are small miracles on long roads. They are also reminders that communities maintain the route, one careful repair at a time. You drink, and the water makes the day feel lighter. In the late afternoon, the road runs beside a river lined with poplar trees. Their tall trunks rise straight, and their leaves shimmer in the breeze. The sound is like soft rain, even though the sky is clear. The caravan's footsteps fall into a gentle pattern, step after step. Shadows from the trees stripe the path. Birds move between branches, quick but quiet. A traveller hums a tune under his breath, not for performance, just to match the rhythm of walking. The river keeps pace nearby, moving steadily in the same direction. Water and travellers, both heading onward. The scene feels peaceful, like a long, slow film where nothing sudden happens. Your mind can rest in the repetition, letting thoughts drift away as leaves continue their gentle whisper. When the river grows wider, a small ferry waits. It is a flatboat, guided by a rope stretched across the water. The ferryman stands with a pole, moving the boat slowly. Animals step onto the wooden deck one at a time, guided by calm hands. The water rocks the boat gently. Travellers stand close, holding packs. The ferry drifts, then slides forward as the rope is pulled. The crossing is quiet. You hear the water against the hull and the soft scrape of rope. On the far bank, the boat touches mud with a muted sound. People step off carefully, and the animals follow. The ferryman nods, accepting a small payment. Then the caravan continues, leaving the river behind without hurry. Near a village, another tea house offers rest. Smoke curls from a short chimney. Inside, the keeper places a small bowl of roasted barley on the table. The tea is poured, and the cup warms your hands. Villagers sit along the wall, listening to a traveller speak about distant mountains and strange coins. The villagers do not interrupt. They enjoy the slow unfolding of the story. Outside, chickens settle and the sky turns purple. The tea house is a soft centre of warmth. A cat sleeps under a bench, tail curled. The keeper adds a log to the stove, and the fire responds with a gentle crackle. You sit, drink, and feel the day's edges soften. This is how long travel survives. Not by constant motion, but by small refuges of calm. The route returns to desert. Low dunes rise and fall like sleeping waves. The sand is pale and the sky is clear. Travel begins early to avoid the strongest heat. The caravan's footsteps make a soft crunch. Camels move with their steady sway, built for this landscape. A traveller wraps cloth around the head, leaving only the eyes visible. The air tastes dry. Even so, there is a kind of peace here. The desert is simple. It does not distract. It offers only light, wind, and distance. The mind can become quiet in such a place. Each step is the same task, placed gently into the sand. You watch shadows shorten as the sun rises, and you feel time moving slowly, like a calm river of light. As the day warms, the horizon shimmers. Heat creates a wavering line where sand meets sky. Travelers know this illusion well. They do not chase it. They keep their eyes on nearer markers, a ridge, a solitary rock, a distant pole. The caravan's leader checks the direction, then continues at the same pace. Water is rationed with calm discipline. Each person takes a small sip, then closes the flask. The animals are watched for signs of strain. A traveller hums softly, a private rhythm. In the desert, silence is wide, but it is not empty. It holds the sound of breathing and the gentle creak of leather straps. The shimmer ahead is only light playing, and the caravan moves through it without fear, steady and patient. At noon, a rest stop appears, a simple canopy of cloth tied to poles. Beneath it, water jars sit in the shade, their surfaces cool from evaporation. Travellers sit close together, out of the direct sun. The shade is a gift. A jar is opened, and water is poured into small cups. No one drinks too fast. The body absorbs it better when sipped slowly. A traveller dips a cloth in water and lays it on the forehead. Another checks the feet for blisters, rubbing them gently with oil. The animals rest with their legs tucked, eyes half closed. The canopy flutters softly. The desert waits outside the shade, bright and still. You rest, and you let your thoughts rest with you. For a while, there is nothing to do but breathe and listen to the faint sound of cloth moving in the wind. When the heat eases, the caravan moves again. The light becomes warmer, and the sand looks golden. Footprints are sharper now, and the breeze feels kinder. Travellers stand slowly, stretching their backs, then lifting packs with a careful heave. The camels rise in stages, then settle into their familiar sway. The road is not marked by stones here. It is marked by experience and by the shape of the land. As you walk, you notice small details: a beetle crossing the sand, a dry plant casting a thin shadow, a small line where wind has drawn patterns. The mind becomes attentive in a gentle way. There is no pressure to think about tomorrow. There is only this moment, this step, and the warm light of late day. The caravan moves like a slow heartbeat across the desert. At sunset, the camp is made. Packs are stacked to form a low windbreak. A small fire is lit in a shallow pit. The flame is modest, used carefully in a place where wood is precious. People sit close, sharing warmth. A pot warms water, and tea returns again. Always tea, always steady. The sky turns pink, then deepens to violet. The desert cools quickly. Blankets are pulled out and shaken. A traveller checks the stars, confirming the direction for tomorrow. Another rubs a camel's legs, checking for sores. The care is quiet and focused. When night fully arrives, the fire becomes a small island of light in a wide, dark sea. The calm is deep here. It wraps around the camp like soft cloth, and it invites sleep. Sometimes, far away, you can see a sandstorm moving like a faint brown curtain. It stays on the horizon, not reaching you tonight. The caravan watches for a moment, then returns to its simple tasks. Water skins are checked, knots tightened, and blankets arranged. A traveller pulls a scarf up over the nose and mouth, just in case the wind shifts later. The animals are turned so their backs face the breeze. These preparations are calm, not fearful. The desert has moods, and travellers learn to meet them with quiet readiness. The storm remains distant, and the sky above your camp is clear. Stars shine, steady and cold. You listen to the quiet air and feel grateful for stillness. Your breathing slows, matching the steady pace of the road itself. Before dawn, the desert can be cold. A thin frost may appear on shaded sand, and breath shows as pale mist. Travellers rise slowly, rubbing hands together. A small fire is coaxed back to life. Tea is warmed, and the first sip feels like warmth in the bones. Packs are lifted while muscles are still stiff, then loosen with motion. The sky brightens, and the cold fades gently. In the early light, the desert looks smooth and quiet, like it has never been touched. Yet the road is here, and you are part of its long history. The caravan begins moving again, soft footsteps leaving new marks that will later be erased by wind. There is comfort in that. Nothing stays heavy for long. The road keeps going, and you keep going with it, calm and steady. Beside the road stands a milestone stone, half buried. Its inscription is faded, but you can still see lines and symbols carved long ago. A traveller runs fingers over the grooves, feeling the work of an unknown hand. The stone once told distances to a town, or marked a boundary. Now it is a quiet witness. The caravan passes without ceremony, but the presence of the marker adds a gentle sense of continuity. People have measured their journeys here for generations. They have felt the same sun, the same dust, the same longing for water and shelter. You continue walking, and the stone remains behind, patient and still. It does not ask to be noticed. It simply exists, doing its small job of remembering. On a quiet stretch of road, you meet a lone traveller with a small lute. He sits on a rock, plucking strings softly. The sound is gentle, not loud enough to carry far. The caravan slows, and a few people listen. The musician nods, then plays a short tune, repeating a simple pattern until it feels familiar. A traveller drops a coin into a cloth pouch. Another offers a piece of bread. The musician smiles, thanks them, and returns to the melody. It is not a performance meant to impress. It is a way to pass time, to make the road feel less empty. After a few minutes, the caravan moves on. The tune lingers in your mind, like a quiet echo. It softens the next hour of walking, and it makes your thoughts gentler. Among the goods, some caravans carry letters and scrolls. A small wooden chest holds them, lined with cloth to keep out dust. A traveller opens the chest carefully, checking that the seals are unbroken. Each scroll is wrapped in oilcloth, tied with string. The strings are not pulled too tight, just enough to hold. A letter might contain news of a birth, a marriage, or a trade agreement. It might carry a poem meant to comfort someone far away. The traveller closes the chest, then straps it to a pack animal in a balanced position. The chest is not heavy, but it feels precious. Words can travel farther than people. They ride on the same slow road, protected by careful hands and calm attention. In the distance, mountains appear again, their tops capped with snow. They look far away, almost like clouds resting on the earth. The caravan does not aim to reach them today. They are simply part of the horizon, a calm reminder that landscapes change. Travelers adjust their plans gently, thinking about passes, water sources, and the coming cold. But for now, the plain is wide and manageable. The light of late afternoon makes the snow glow faintly. A traveller squints, then relaxes, letting the mountains stay distant. The road teaches acceptance. You see what is ahead, but you do not rush toward it. You take the step that is in front of you. The mountains will still be there tomorrow, patient and quiet. Your mind can be patient too. As the sun sets, a small town comes into view. Mud brick homes cluster around a central square. A low wall surrounds gardens where a few trees grow. The caravan enters slowly, passing children playing quietly with stones and sticks. The air smells of cooking fires and baked earth. In the square, a water seller stands by jars covered with cloth. A traveller buys water and drinks carefully. Another asks for directions to a guest house. People in the town are used to arrivals. They do not stare for long. They simply make room. The guest house offers a courtyard and a place to sleep. There is no luxury, but there is safety and routine. Tonight, you will rest behind walls, hearing the soft sounds of town life and letting the day fade from your thoughts. The guest house courtyard is simple. A few potted plants sit near the wall, their leaves dusty but alive. A brazier holds coals, giving off gentle warmth. Travellers set down packs and sit on low stools. The keeper brings a bowl of soup, thin but nourishing, and a plate of bread. There is a rhythm to hospitality. The keeper asks where you come from, and you answer quietly. He nods as if he has heard many such answers. A traveller pours tea into cups, careful not to spill. Someone eats slowly, then leans back, eyes soft with tiredness. Overhead, the sky is visible as a dark square framed by walls. A single star appears. The courtyard feels like a calm pocket of the world, a place where you can let your guard down and rest. In the guest house kitchen, flatbread is made. Dough is kneaded slowly, pressed with the heel of the hand, folded, then pressed again. Flour dusts the table like soft snow. A clay oven is heated, its walls glowing faintly. The baker stretches a round of dough, then slaps it gently onto the hot interior wall. It sticks, and it begins to puff. After a short time, the bread is lifted out with a hook. The crust is spotted and fragrant. The baker stacks the breads under a cloth to keep them warm. The work is steady and quiet, done by habit. Watching it feels calming, like watching waves repeat on a shore. The smell of bread fills the air, warm and comforting. It is a simple gift to tired travellers, and it makes the night feel safe. Before sleep, a traveller writes a letter. He sits by an oil lamp, the flame small and steady. Paper lies on a board, held down by a stone. He dips a pen and writes slowly, choosing words with care. He describes the road, the weather, the people met in tea houses. He mentions his health, his plans, and his hope to arrive safely. The letter is not long. It does not need to be. What matters is the connection it creates across distance. When the writing is done, he folds the paper, seals it with wax, and presses a simple mark into it. He holds it for a moment, then sets it with the other letters to be carried. The act of writing is quiet and comforting. It turns wandering into something ordered. Then the traveller blows out the lamp, and darkness arrives gently. Morning in the town is soft. Light touches rooftops and warms the courtyard stones. A rooster calls once, then falls quiet. Travellers rise, fold bedding, and carry packs to the gate. The keeper offers a last cup of tea, and it is accepted gratefully. Outside, the road waits as it always does. A donkey cart creaks past, loaded with vegetables. A potter carries a jar balanced on a shoulder. These small movements blend with the caravan's departure. The group reassembles, checking that everyone is present. Animals are loaded slowly so nothing shifts. Then you walk out of the town, leaving behind the smell of bread and smoke. The day is new, calm, and open. The road holds you gently, like a wide path through quiet history. The route enters a rocky canyon. Stone walls rise on both sides, warm in colour, patterned with layers. The air is cooler here, shaded for part of the day. Footsteps echo softly. The caravan moves with care, keeping distance so stones do not dislodge. A small stream runs along one side, thin but persistent. The sound of water echoes between walls, making a gentle, repeating note. Travellers touch the rock as they pass, feeling its cool surface. Some see old carvings, names or symbols left by others. These marks are quiet messages, proof that the road has memory. The canyon narrows, then widens again. Light shifts on the stone as the sun moves. The scenery changes slowly, and the slow change feels soothing. You walk on, listening to the steady echo of your own steps and the soft whisper of water. On one canyon wall, you notice petroglyphs, simple figures of animals, hunters, and shapes that might be stars. They are carved shallowly, worn by weather, yet still visible. A traveller pauses and traces the lines with a fingertip, gently, as if greeting a stranger across time. No one knows the carver's name now, but the marks remain patient and silent. The caravan does not linger long. The road must continue. Still, the memory of the drawings stays with you. They remind you that people have always travelled, always paused, always left small signs of their presence. The canyon air is cool and still. The light is calm. You move forward slowly, carrying the quiet feeling of those old carvings like a soft thought that does not demand anything, only invites peaceful attention. A stone bridge crosses the stream, built from fitted blocks. The bridge is narrow, and the caravan crosses in order. First a person with a staff, then the animals, then the rest of the travellers. The stones are cool underfoot. You can see small moss patches where water splashes. The bridge does not sway. It holds steady, doing its work quietly. On the far side, a small platform of flat rock makes a good place to rest. Travellers sit and eat a few dates. Someone checks a strap again, then smiles at its firmness. The canyon continues, but the bridge is a reminder of human care. People built it to make life easier for those who came after. That thought is calming. You are not alone on this route. You are part of a long chain of quiet help and quiet passage. Beyond the canyon, the land opens into a plateau. In the distance, yurts sit like pale domes against the grass. Thin smoke rises from their vents. The caravan approaches slowly, and a few riders come out to meet you. Their horses move at a calm walk. Greetings are exchanged politely. Hospitality on the steppe is often direct and warm. A traveller is invited into a yurt, where the air is warm and smells of wool and milk. A bowl of fermented drink might be offered, or tea if available. The host does not ask many questions at first. They simply make space. Inside, rugs soften the floor, and a low table holds simple food. The wind outside makes a faint sound against the felt walls. You sit, and the world becomes small and calm for a while. The plateau stretches wide beyond, but inside the yurt there is quiet shelter and steady warmth. Inside the yurt, the central stove glows softly. A kettle sits on top, and the lid rattles faintly as the water warms. The host pours tea into bowls, and the bowls are passed around with 2 hands. Travellers sip slowly, feeling the warmth spread. A piece of dried cheese is offered, hard but nourishing. Conversation is gentle and sparse. People speak of animals, weather, and grazing land. A child watches from behind a curtain, curious but quiet. The yurt's wooden ribs form a circle overhead, a simple structure that feels safe. Outside, the wind moves across the plateau, but inside, the air is still. The day's travel feels far away. You can relax your shoulders. You can let your eyes close for a moment, listening to the soft sounds of tea being poured and the steady breathing of the room. At dawn, the yurt camp is quiet. The grass is wet with dew. Horses stand with heads low, breathing slowly. The caravan thanks the hosts with small gifts, perhaps a piece of cloth or a pinch of spice. The hosts nod, accepting without fuss. Packs are loaded again, and knots are checked. The road resumes. As you walk away, you look back once and see the yurts small against the wide land. Smoke rises in a thin line, and then the distance softens it. The plateau is open and bright. The sky is pale blue, and the wind is gentle. The caravan spreads out slightly, enjoying the space. You feel the calm of simple hospitality lingering, like warmth in your chest. The day begins with quiet gratitude, and the road welcomes you again. You come to a salt flat, wide and pale. The surface is cracked in patterns like scales. Light reflects upward, making the air seem brighter. The caravan crosses carefully. The salt can be hard, but it can also hide soft places where water once stood. Travelers watch the ground, stepping where it feels firm. The sound of footsteps is crisp, different from sand or grass. There is little scent here, only dry mineral air. The horizon looks endless. In such a place, thoughts can become very quiet. There is nothing to focus on except the steady movement of legs and the calm line of the caravan. Water is sipped sparingly. The sun climbs slowly. When a faint breeze comes, it feels cool against the face. The salt flat is not friendly, but it is not angry either. It is simply a place to cross, slowly and patiently, until more familiar ground returns. At the far edge of the salt flat, a building appears, low and solid. At first it seems like a mirage, but as you approach it, becomes real. Another caravanserai. Its walls are thick, made to resist wind and sun. The gate is open, and a few animals stand in the shade inside. The caravan's pace remains steady. Relief comes quietly, without celebration. Inside the courtyard, there is water and a place to rest. The keeper offers a nod and points to a trough. Animals drink. Travelers sit on the ground and let their legs relax. Dust and salt are wiped from faces with damp cloths. A pot of tea is set to heat. The salt flat is behind you now, and the memory of its bright stillness fades into the calm routine of shelter. You are safe, and you can breathe more deeply. In the stable area, animals are cared for. A traveler uses a stiff brush to remove salt and dust from a camel's coat. The brush strokes are slow and even. The camel lowers its head, calm, eyes half closed. Another traveler checks the animal's hooves, removing small stones lodged in the edges. Water is offered again, and the animals drink without haste. Saddles are aired out, placed on a rail so sweat can dry. Cloth pads are shaken and hung in the sun. This quiet care is essential. The Silk Road depends on these patient routines. Without them, animals would weaken, loads would shift, journeys would end early. Watching the brushing, the checking, the gentle hands, you feel the soothing effect of attention. It is like tending to your own thoughts, smoothing them, removing small irritations, letting everything settle into comfort. In the evening, travelers gather in a communal room. Lamps hang from hooks, their light warm and low. Someone tells a simple story about a river crossing, not dramatic, just a memory of cold water and steady hands. Another speaks about a tea house with a kind keeper and a cat that slept through every conversation. People listen, then nod. The stories are not meant to astonish. They are meant to remind everyone that the road is manageable. As the voices continue, soft and slow, some listeners begin to drift. Heads lean against walls, eyes close. The room's warmth, the smell of tea, and the low murmur make a safe place for sleep. Outside, the courtyard is dark. Inside, the rhythm of human voices becomes a gentle background, like wind through trees. You can let your mind follow the sound and settle into rest. With dawn, the caravan leaves again. The air is cool, and the hills ahead are soft silhouettes. The road is quiet. Even the animals seem to move more gently in the early light. Travelers adjust their packs, then begin walking without talking much. The sky brightens slowly. As you go, you see small stones glittering on the ground, catching light like tiny mirrors. A bird rises from a bush and flies low, then disappears. The calm of morning feels like a clean sheet of paper. The day has not been written yet. You can step into it without worry. The Silk Road stretches ahead, and it does not demand anything more than steady movement. You breathe, you walk, and you let the rhythm do its quiet work on your mind. In a larger oasis city, the bazaar lane is narrow and shaded. Cloth awnings create stripes of light. The air smells of tea, spices, and clean water. Merchants open shutters, sweeping dust from thresholds. A man carries a basket of oranges, moving carefully through the crowd. A seller arranges bolts of cloth, smoothing each one. The caravan enters slowly, and people make space. There is noise, but it is not harsh. It is the sound of life continuing. In a tea stall, water boils, and cups clink softly. Travelers exchange money, then buy small comforts, a comb, a bit of soap, a new cord for tying bundles. Even in a busy place, the road's pace remains slow. You walk through the bazaar as if you have all the time in the world, letting the gentle patterns of daily trade calm you. Away from the bazaar, an inner courtyard offers stillness. A shaded pool reflects the sky and the leaves of citrus trees. Water trickles from a small spout, making a soft, steady sound. The ground is cool tile. A traveller sits on a low bench and takes off sandals, letting feet breathe. Another closes eyes and listens to the water. Someone peels an orange slowly, the scent rising fresh and sweet. The city's bustle becomes distant, like a memory. Courtyards like this are quiet hearts within busy places. They are built for calm, for rest, for thought. You can sit here as long as you like. The sunlight moves gradually across the wall. Leaves tremble gently. The pool remains smooth. Your breathing slows, and your mind follows the water's simple rhythm. In the city, paper is made in a workshop that smells faintly of wet fibre. A vat holds pulp, stirred until it is smooth. A frame with a fine screen is dipped into the vat, lifted and shaken gently so the fibres spread evenly. Water drains away in a slow drip. The wet sheet is pressed onto a felt cloth, then covered with another felt and pressed again. The stack grows, layer by layer, each sheet thin and fragile. Later, sheets are hung to dry, moving slightly with air. The papermaker's hands move with calm precision. Nothing is rushed because paper tears easily when wet. This slow process is part of the Silk Road's quiet exchange. Paper carries records, prayers, and poems. It also carries ordinary lists of goods, the simple language of trade. Watching paper being formed from pulp feels soothing, like watching clouds gather into a gentle shape. Some cities along the route keep small libraries. In a quiet room, scrolls and books are stacked neatly. A librarian dusts the shelves with a soft brush, careful not to disturb bindings. Travellers may come to copy a passage or to read a few lines before continuing. A lamp lights a table where someone traces letters with a finger, reading slowly. The air smells of paper and wood. Outside, merchants bargain and animals bray, but here the sound is muted. Knowledge travels like goods do, carried by patient hands. In this library, you can feel time stretching. Words from far away rest calmly on the shelves, waiting for a reader. The silence is thick, but not heavy. It feels like a quilt. If you sit long enough, your eyelids grow heavy. You can imagine falling asleep among the soft presence of old pages, safe within walls built for quiet thought. A light rain falls in the evening, rare and gentle. Cobblestones darken, and lantern light reflects in small puddles. The air cools, washing away dust. Travellers walk slowly under awnings, listening to drops tapping cloth. A vendor pulls a blanket over baskets to keep them dry. The rain does not last long. It is more like a quiet cleaning of the world. When it stops, the street smells fresh, and the sky looks clearer. People step out again, moving carefully so they do not slip. In a tea house, the warmth feels even better after rain. Steam rises from cups, and the sound of dripping from roofs continues for a while. Nights like this make the Silk Road feel gentle. Even weather can be soft. You can let the steady pattern of rain and dripping guide your thoughts towards sleep, slow and easy. When the caravan leaves the oasis city, it follows a canal lined with trees. The water moves quietly, carrying small leaves along. Birds hop between branches. Travelers walk in the shade as long as they can, enjoying the cooler air. The city fades behind, its walls becoming a low line in the distance. Ahead, the land opens again, and the road becomes dust and horizon. A traveler looks back once, then faces forward. There is no sadness. Towns come and go, like stops in a long breath. The canal's gentle sound fades, replaced by the softer sound of footsteps. The pace remains steady. You move with the caravan, carrying the calm memory of water and trees into the next stretch of open land. The road becomes gravel, covered with small stones that crunch softly. Each step makes the same sound, repeated again and again, until it becomes soothing. The sun is mild. Wind is light. The caravan's line stretches out, each traveler in their own quiet space. You notice the small movements of walking, a heel touching down, a knee bending, a pack shifting slightly, then settling. The body finds its rhythm without thinking. Occasionally, someone stops to adjust a strap, then returns to the line. The animals breathe steadily. Dust is less here, and the air feels cleaner. Gravel roads can be tiring, but they are stable. They do not shift like sand. The steadiness underfoot gives a sense of security. You walk, and the repetitive crunch becomes a gentle background, like a metronome guiding your mind toward calm. At noon, a small spring feeds a stone trough. Water trickles in a thin line, clear and cold. Travelers line up calmly, allowing animals to drink first. A camel lowers its head and drinks slowly, water rippling in the trough. Then a traveler fills a cup, letting it overflow once to rinse away dust, then drinks. The water is refreshing, but no one gulps. On the stone edge, tiny plants grow, bright green in the sun. A traveler sits nearby and lets the feet rest, toes wiggling in sandals. The spring's sound is steady, a small whisper of life. Places like this are quiet anchors on the road. They do not ask for thanks. They simply offer what they have, drop by drop, hour by hour. You drink, you rest, and you continue, feeling a little lighter. In the afternoon, the caravan passes a field of low wildflowers. The colors are soft, pale yellow, and dusty purple. The wind moves through them and makes them sway. The sight is gentle, like a blanket of small stars on the ground. Travelers slow slightly, noticing the change from rock and sand. A traveler reaches down and brushes fingers over petals, then lets them go. No one picks many. The flowers belong to this place. The road feels kinder here. The sky is wide, and clouds drift slowly, casting cool shadows that move across the field. In moments like this, the journey feels less like labor and more like quiet wandering. You walk and breathe. The flowers and the wind do not demand anything. They simply exist, offering a calm scene to the passing line of travelers. Your mind softens, and your thoughts become as light as the moving petals. Near a crossroads, a small smithy stands. The blacksmith works in shade, using a low fire and a simple anvil. He heats a piece of iron until it glows dull red. Then he taps it with a hammer, not loud, but rhythmic. Tap, pause, tap, pause. Sparks rise briefly, then fade. A traveler brings a broken buckle, and the smith examines it with calm focus. He repairs it with a few careful strikes and a bend of metal. The buckle is cooled in water with a soft hiss. The traveler thanks him and pays. Tools and fittings are small things, but they keep the road functioning. The smith's steady tapping is strangely soothing. It is work that turns chaos into order, one measured strike at a time. You watch for a moment, then continue, carrying the calm rhythm with you, like a quiet song. At evening, you pass a small prayer room by the road. It is modest, with a few candles or oil lamps inside. Travelers step in quietly, removing hats or scarves as a sign of respect. Some whisper a prayer. Others sit in silence, letting the calm space hold them. The walls are plain, perhaps with a small painting or carved symbol. The air smells of smoke and wax. A caretaker sweeps the floor slowly, keeping it clean for those who come seeking peace. The caravan does not stay long, but even a brief visit can soften the mind. It reminds you that long travel has always needed more than food and water. It has needed hope and quiet places where the heart can rest. You step back outside and the sky is turning dark. The road continues, but your thoughts feel gentler, as if the small room has taken some weight from them. A caravanserai appears at twilight, lanterns glowing along its walls. The light is warm and inviting. The gatekeeper recognizes the signs of tired travel, dusty faces and slow steps. He opens the gate without delay. Inside, the courtyard is calm. The well is ready. Animals are led to water. Packs are lowered gently and shoulders relax. Someone finds a place for sleeping, unrolling a mat with a quiet sigh. In the cooking area, a pot is already warming. The smell of onions or herbs might drift through the air. Travelers speak softly, sharing small pieces of news. A newcomer asks about the road ahead, and an older traveler answers with simple facts, not drama. Tonight is like many nights, and that is comforting. The Caravanserai is a reliable pause in a long journey. It holds you for a while, then releases you again. For now, you rest within its steady walls, and your breathing slows with the evening. In the corner of the courtyard, a traveler counts coins. He pours them into his palm, then arranges them in a small line. The metal is worn, the faces of rulers smoothed by time. He counts slowly, then returns them to a cloth pouch. The pouch is tied with a simple knot and tucked inside clothing for safety. This careful attention is part of travel. Money buys food, shelter, and repairs. It also brings worry if not managed. But the traveler does not worry loudly. He simply checks and secures. Nearby, another traveler unwraps a small bundle of incense, saving it for a prayer room ahead. These are quiet preparations, not grand plans. They are small habits that keep life stable. When the counting is done, the traveler sits back and takes a sip of tea. The coins are safe. The night is calm. The road can wait until morning. In the early morning, the Caravanserai's baker prepares small sweet pastries. Dough is rolled thin and brushed with melted butter. Nuts are crushed with a stone, then sprinkled evenly. The dough is folded, pressed gently, and cut into small pieces. Honey is warmed until it pours like slow amber. When the pastries are baked, the baker drizzles honey over them, letting it soak in. The smell is warm and comforting. Travelers buy a few pieces, not too many, saving coins. They eat slowly, savoring sweetness as a rare treat on long roads. The baker works quietly, focused on the simple steps. In the calm of morning, the making of food feels like a gentle ritual. It sets a peaceful tone for the day. You can imagine the taste, the warmth, and the steady hands shaping something simple and kind. The road passes a marsh where tall reeds grow thick. The path narrows, and the reeds rise above head height, making a green corridor. The air smells of water and plants. Insects hum softly. Birds call from hidden nests. The caravan moves quietly here, not wanting to disturb the place. The animals step carefully on damp ground. A traveler uses a stick to test patches of mud before stepping. The reeds brush clothing with a faint rustle. Sunlight filters through, making moving patterns on the path. The marsh feels like another world, cooler and softer than desert. It is a place of slow life, of steady water. You walk through it, listening to the quiet hum and the whisper of reeds. The sound is calming, like a soft curtain moving in a breeze. When the path rises again onto dry ground, you feel refreshed, as if the marsh has cooled your thoughts. At noon, a lake appears, its surface smooth and pale blue. The shore is quiet, with small stones and patches of grass. The caravan stops. Animals drink at the edge, careful not to slip. Water ripples outward from their mouths, widening circles that fade slowly. Travelers sit and eat a simple meal, bread and dried fruit, maybe a bit of smoked fish bought earlier. Someone washes a cloth in the lake, then lays it on a rock to dry. The air is cooler near the water, and the light reflects softly upward. A traveler closes eyes and listens to tiny waves tapping stones. There is no urgency here. The lake has waited a long time, and it will remain after you leave. Sitting by it makes the road feel less demanding. You can rest in the steady presence of water, letting it quiet the mind like a gentle hand smoothing wrinkles from cloth. Near the lake, a fisherman sits and mends a net. The net is spread across his lap like a soft web. He ties small knots, one after another, repairing holes made by rocks or strong fish. His fingers move slowly, practiced and sure. A traveler watches for a while, understanding the calm focus in the work. The fisherman does not hurry. A net that is rushed will fail. He checks each knot with a gentle pull, then moves on to the next. Nearby, his boat rests upside down, its wooden hull drying in the sun. The scene is quiet and steady. The lake breathes softly, and the net grows whole again. Repair is part of travel and part of life. Watching the fisherman, you feel your own thoughts being repaired, knot by knot, becoming less tangled. The road will continue, but for now, there is only calm work and calm water. Later, the road enters a forest. Trees rise tall, and their leaves filter the sunlight into soft beams. The air smells of resin and damp earth. Footsteps fall quietly on needles and leaves. The caravan's sounds become muted, as if the forest absorbs them. Birds move overhead, and you occasionally hear a distant woodpecker tapping. Travelers feel the cool shade on their faces, and shoulders loosen. Forest travel is different from desert travel. The horizon is hidden, but the path is clear enough, worn by many feet. A traveler touches a tree trunk as he passes, feeling rough bark under his palm. The forest feels protective. It is like walking through a calm hall of pillars. You breathe more deeply. The air is softer. Your thoughts slow down, matching the gentle pace of the caravan under the trees. When evening comes, the forest light turns golden, and the path feels like a quiet passage into rest. In a forest clearing, the caravan camps. The ground is flat and covered with soft grass. A small fire is lit, and its light flickers against tree trunks. The smell of wood smoke mixes with pine. Tents are set up carefully so they do not snag on branches. Water is fetched from a nearby stream, carried in buckets that swing gently. Someone gathers fallen sticks for fuel, choosing dry ones. The meal is simple again, grain cooked in water, flavored with a little salt and herb. The forest is quiet around you, holding the camp like a gentle shell. At night, the wind moves through leaves, making a soft sound like distant surf. Travelers lie down, listening. The fire dies to coals. Darkness grows deeper between trees. In this place, sleep feels natural. You are sheltered by trunks and branches, and the world seems to breathe slowly with you. After the forest, the road climbs to a mountain village. Stone houses sit close together, and smoke rises from chimneys in thin lines. The air is cool and clean. Villagers carry wood, leading goats along narrow lanes. The caravan enters quietly. A village elder may greet the travelers, asking about the road and offering directions. A small inn provides shelter, with thick walls that hold warmth. In the village, time feels slower. People follow daylight, chores, and seasons. A traveler buys fresh milk or a small wheel of cheese. Another fills water skins at a spring. Children watch the camels with calm curiosity. There is no fear in their eyes, only interest. The caravan rests for a while, and you feel the gentle steadiness of mountain life. Then you move on, leaving behind the smell of wood smoke and stone, carrying it as a soft memory. In the village, a craftsman sits outside his door and carves a wooden bowl. He holds a block of wood between his knees and uses a small knife. Thin curls peel away, falling into a pile at his feet. He works slowly, turning the bowl, checking the curve with his thumb. The wood smells sweet and fresh. When the shape is right, he smooths it with a rough cloth or sand. A traveller watches, appreciating the patience required. The bowl will be used for soup or tea. It is not fancy, but it is made well. On the Silk Road, many objects begin like this, with hands and time. The craftsman does not speak much. His focus is his conversation. Watching him can calm your thoughts. The repeated motion, carve, check, smooth, is like a gentle pattern your mind can follow until it grows quiet. On a mountain path, a herd of yaks passes. Their coats are long, and their breath is visible in the cool air. A herder walks beside them, holding a simple stick. The yaks move slowly, hooves steady on rock. Bells hang from a few necks, making a deep, soft sound. The caravan steps aside to let them pass, waiting patiently. The herder nods in thanks. When the herd is gone, the path is quiet again. The scene leaves a calm impression. These animals are part of the region's life, carrying loads, providing milk, and moving at a pace that matches the mountains. The Silk Road is full of such meetings, short and peaceful, each one a reminder that travel is shared. You continue walking, your breath steady, your thoughts slow and even, like the herd's measured steps. The path opens into a high meadow. Wild herbs grow low, releasing scent when brushed by a foot. Distant peaks rise beyond, calm and pale. The light is soft and the wind is gentle. The caravan crosses the meadow slowly, not wanting to disturb the ground too much. A traveller bends to pick a small sprig of herb, rubbing it between fingers and inhaling. The smell is fresh and clean. Somewhere nearby, a small stream runs, thin and bright. The meadow feels like a pause in the mountains, a place where the land relaxes. You can relax too. The wide view gives the mind room to breathe. Clouds drift slowly across peaks. The caravan's line is small in this vast space, and that smallness is comforting. It reminds you that you do not have to control everything. You can simply move quietly through a world that is larger than any worry. Another pass is crossed. Stones by the path are painted or carved with prayers. The wind moves through them, carrying dust and cool air. Travellers slow, not from fear, but from respect for the height and the narrow footing. They step carefully, placing feet flat. A traveller pauses to place a small stone on a pile, a quiet offering. The sky is bright but colder here. When the caravan reaches the top, there is a moment of stillness. You can see valleys on both sides. Then the descent begins, steady and calm. The road here teaches careful attention. Not every part of the journey is comfortable, but it can still be peaceful when taken slowly. Breathing becomes a quiet anchor. Each breath is like a step. You go down, and the air warms gradually. The pass fades behind, and the body relaxes again, grateful for lower ground. After the mountains, a riverside town appears. Wooden docks line the bank. Boats bob gently, tied with ropes that creak softly. The river is wide and slow, carrying silt that makes it look like liquid earth. The caravan enters the town and finds a place near the docks. Here, goods may change hands. Some bundles might be loaded onto boats for a part of the journey. Boatmen work slowly, using poles to guide the vessels. A merchant checks the condition of a crate, then seals it again. The town smells of fish, wet wood, and smoke. A tea stall near the dock serves hot drinks to workers and travellers. People sit on benches and watch the river. Water travel is another kind of slow movement. Boats do not rush. They follow the current and the wind. Sitting by the dock, you feel the steady presence of the river, and your mind follows its calm flow. On the dock, a boatman coils rope. He holds the rope in one hand and makes loops with the other, each loop the same size. The coil grows into a neat circle. The rope smells of water and tar. The boatman checks for frayed strands, then cuts a small piece away and ties a new knot. This is careful work. A rope can save a boat in a storm, or hold it steady at night. Travellers watch for a moment, admiring the calm attention. The river laps at the dock, making a steady sound. A gull cries once, then quiets. The boatman finishes the coil and hangs it on a peg. He wipes hands on his trousers and looks at the sky, judging weather. The scene is simple and soothing. It is another reminder that long travel depends on quiet skills and repeated actions. You can let your mind rest in the rhythm of loops and knots, as steady as breathing. A riverside tea house has windows open to the breeze. Inside, steam rises from cups and bowls. The floor is worn wood. A traveller sits near the window and watches the river move. Boats drift past slowly. The tea house keeper wipes the table with a damp cloth, repeating the same motion until it is clean. A pot of tea is brewed again and again, the leaves reused until their strength fades. There is a calm economy to it. Travellers order simple food, rice or noodles, and eat slowly. Conversation comes in short bursts, then silence returns. The river's sound fills the pauses. The tea house feels like a quiet lookout point. You can sit here and let the day pass without pressure. Outside, sunlight glints on the water. Inside, the air is warm and calm. Your thoughts begin to match the river's pace, slow and steady, moving onward without struggle. Leaving the town, the caravan follows the riverbank. Willow trees lean over the water, their branches trailing like soft curtains. The path is narrow but stable. The river keeps company beside you, always moving in the same direction. The light of evening turns the water copper. Travellers walk quietly, enjoying the cooler air. A traveller dips fingers into the river as he passes a low spot, then flicks water gently, feeling refreshed. Birds settle into reeds for the night. The world seems to slow down with the sun. When the caravan stops to camp, the river is nearby, and its steady sound continues through the night. It is like a constant lullaby. You lie down and listen. The water does not stop. It moves with calm persistence. Your breathing joins it, and sleep feels close, like a shore you are quietly approaching. At night, the moon reflects on the river in a broken line of light. Ripples move it gently, making it shimmer. The camp is quiet. A small fire burns low, mostly coals now. Travellers sleep under blankets, faces turned away from the cool air. The animals rest, their bodies dark shapes against grass. The river's sound is steady and soft. It covers small noises, a cough, a shifting foot, the rustle of cloth. Above, stars are visible where trees do not block them. The night feels safe, held by water and open sky. You can imagine your thoughts as ripples, small movements on a large surface. They appear, then fade. Nothing needs to be solved right now. The road will be there tomorrow. For now, the river moves, the camp rests, and your mind can drift along with the water until sleep takes you gently. In the morning, mist rises from the river. It curls in thin sheets, then disappears as sunlight grows. The caravan packs quietly. Blankets are folded, mats rolled, ropes tied. The riverbank is damp, and footprints leave darker marks in the soil. A traveller fills a water skin, then closes it carefully. Tea is drunk quickly but calmly, enough to warm the body. Then the group begins moving again, stepping into the misty air. The world looks softened, edges blurred. It feels like walking through a dream. Birds call from hidden places. The river glows faintly through mist. As the sun rises, the mist thins, and the road becomes clearer. The calm of the early hour stays with you. You walk, breathing slowly, letting the soft morning wrap around your thoughts like a light blanket. Along the path, you notice a stone slab with an inscription. Moss grows in the carved lines. The slab might mark a donation, a repair to the road, or a message of protection for travellers. The writing is hard to read now, but its presence is enough. It shows that people cared for this route, leaving official words in stone. A traveller touches the slab gently, then steps back. The caravan continues. The moss is soft, the stone cool. Time has moved over it like a slow hand. Such markers are quiet companions. They do not speak loudly, but they remind you that this road has been watched and maintained. The thought is calming. You are walking in a place that has been prepared, at least in small ways, by many hands. You continue, steady and unhurried, leaving the stone behind in its mossy silence. Later, you arrive at a large caravanserai complex, bigger than most. It has multiple courtyards and arches that cast deep shade. The gate is wide enough for many animals. Inside, there are separate areas for stables, storage, and sleeping. The place feels like a small town built for travelers. Water flows through a channel into a basin, making a soft sound. The keeper is organized. He assigns places calmly, pointing to where each caravan should rest. Goods are moved into storage rooms with thick doors. Merchants check seals and make notes. In a courtyard, a cook prepares a large pot of stew, feeding many people. The smell is warm and inviting. Travelers wash, eat, and settle. The large inn is busy, but it is not chaotic. It runs on routine, like a well-made machine. You find a quiet corner, sit down, and feel the steady shelter of walls that have welcomed countless tired people. The road can pause here, and your mind can pause too. Inside the caravanserai, water channels run along the courtyard. Small bridges cross them, made from stone slabs. The water moves slowly, carrying away dust and cooling the air. A traveller kneels and rinses hands, watching the current take the dirt away. Another fills a cup and drinks, then pours a little water back into the channel as a simple gesture of thanks. The system is practical. It keeps the inn cleaner and calmer. The sound of flowing water softens voices and footsteps. Even when many travellers are present, the courtyard feels peaceful because of this steady movement. A child follows the channel with a finger, tracing its path. The keeper checks a small gate that controls the flow, adjusting it slightly. The water responds, increasing or slowing. Watching this quiet control feels soothing. It shows how gentle engineering can bring comfort. You sit near the channel and listen, letting the sound settle your thoughts into stillness. In a workshop near the caravanserai, a lantern maker works. He shapes thin metal into frames, bending strips around a form. Glass panels are cut and fitted carefully. He checks each edge so it will not cut the hand. Then he sets a small oil cup inside, testing the balance. The lantern is simple but sturdy, meant to last. A traveller watches and orders one, knowing the road can be dark. The lantern maker works slowly, not wasting motion. His tools are arranged neatly on a bench. When he finishes, he polishes the metal, then hands it over with quiet pride. Lanterns are small guides through night. Along the Silk Road, they light courtyards, gates, and narrow paths. The sight of a lantern's warm glow can calm a tired traveller instantly. Watching one being made, step by step, can calm you too. It is a reminder that light itself can be carried and shared gently and steadily. At dusk, a sound travels over the town, perhaps a bell, perhaps a call to prayer, depending on where you are. The sound is not sharp. It rolls gently across rooftops, then fades. People respond in calm ways. Some pause their work. Some wash their hands. Some step into a small sanctuary. The caravanserai grows quieter, as if everyone agrees to lower their voices. Lights appear in windows. Smoke rises from kitchens. The day's heat releases from walls. A traveller stands in the courtyard and listens to the fading sound, feeling a soft settling inside. Sounds like this mark time without urgency. They remind you that days have patterns. Patterns bring comfort. Soon, travellers return to their rooms or mats. The keeper closes the gate. The night becomes deeper. The town rests, and the road rests with it. You can let your mind follow the last echo until it disappears, leaving only calm silence. Sometimes a caravan travels a short distance at night, when the moon is bright and the air is cool. Lanterns hang from poles or from pack saddles, swaying gently. Their light makes small circles on the ground. The road looks different at night, softer, less detailed. Travellers speak even less, saving breath and listening for the animals' steps. The bells are quieter now, muffled by cloth. Stars guide the direction. The mood is calm, almost dreamlike. Walking at night can feel like floating through darkness. Each step is careful but relaxed. The world beyond the lantern light does not matter. Only the small pool of light ahead matters. This narrow focus can be soothing. It keeps the mind from wandering too far. Eventually, the caravan stops and rests again, but the memory of lanterns moving slowly in the dark stays with you, like a gentle image to carry into sleep. In the morning, travellers take time to dry clothes. Lines are stretched between posts in the courtyard. Shirts and scarves hang, moving gently in the breeze. The fabric is washed in basins, wrung out slowly, then hung with simple wooden clips. Sunlight warms the cloth and pulls out dampness. A traveller shakes a blanket, releasing dust, then hangs it too. These small chores bring a sense of normal life to the road. Clean cloth against skin can change the whole day. Nearby, someone mends a tear with needle and thread, making careful stitches. The animals are watered and fed. The keeper sweeps the courtyard, pushing dust toward a corner. Everything is done in unhurried sequence. Watching laundry dry is oddly calming. It is a slow process with a clear result. Damp becomes dry. Dust becomes clean. The mind can follow that simple change and feel lighter too. The road becomes a cliffside path with a low stone guardrail. Below, a valley opens wide. Travellers keep to the inside edge, walking slowly. No one jokes here. The focus is calm and steady. The animals are led carefully, and loads are checked again to keep balance. The stone guardrail is worn smooth by hands that have touched it for reassurance. You can imagine those hands, thousands of them, each one seeking the same quiet comfort. The view is beautiful, but it does not pull you into excitement. It invites a deep breath. The wind up here is cool. It brushes the face and carries away heat. The caravan moves like a slow thread along the cliff, patient and cautious. When the path widens again, shoulders relax. The group continues, grateful for safe footing and calm attention. The cliff behind becomes another memory of steady care on a long road. A stone staircase leads down to a spring. Each step is worn, rounded by many feet. Travellers descend slowly, holding the wall for support. At the bottom, water flows from a small opening in rock into a basin. The water is cold and clear. People fill water skins and drink, then wash their faces. The coolness makes them sigh softly. A traveller sits on a step, letting feet rest in the shade. The staircase feels like a gentle passage into relief. Someone carved these steps long ago, making it easier for strangers to reach water safely. It is a quiet act of kindness that continues to help. When the water skins are full, travellers climb back up, taking each step carefully. The ascent is slow, but there is no rush. The spring will keep flowing. The road will keep waiting. You move on with renewed calm, carrying water and the memory of cool stone and steady steps. On a hillside, a small monastery or retreat stands. Prayer wheels line a walkway, and travellers may stop to spin them gently. Each wheel turns with a soft, repeated click. The sound is soothing. Monks or caretakers move quietly, sweeping dust and tending to simple tasks. A traveller sits on a bench and drinks tea offered in silence. The air here feels still. The view looks out over a valley, and clouds drift slowly. The monastery does not demand belief. It offers calm. The spinning wheels, the quiet steps, the scent of incense, all invite the mind to slow down. After a short rest, the caravan continues, leaving the retreat behind. But the feeling stays, like a calm stone in the pocket. You remember the soft click of the wheels and the steady hands turning them. The road feels gentler afterward, and your breathing follows a quieter rhythm. A light snowfall begins. The flakes are small and slow, drifting down without wind. They land on cloaks and on animal backs, melting quickly at first. The caravan slows a little, not from fear, but to keep footing steady. The road becomes quieter as snow softens sound. Footsteps crunch gently. The air feels clean and cool. Travelers pull hoods up and adjust scarves. Hands stay inside sleeves for warmth. The snow does not turn into a storm. It remains gentle, like a quiet curtain. The landscape looks softer, as if the world has been wrapped in cloth. A traveler smiles faintly, enjoying the change. Snow can be difficult, but it can also be peaceful when it is light. The caravan finds a sheltered place to camp or reach an inn before night. Inside shelter, snow continues outside, silent and steady. Listening to snowfall can calm the mind. It covers sharp edges and makes everything feel slower, inviting sleep. Inside a warm room, a small hearth glows. Snow falls outside the window, visible in the lamplight. The contrast is comforting. Cold outside, warmth inside. Travelers sit close to the fire, drying gloves and scarves. A kettle simmers and tea is poured. The warmth reaches fingers and toes slowly. Someone peels a boiled egg, then eats it quietly. Another traveler rubs oil into cracked skin, healing it. The room smells of smoke and wool. Outside, the world is quiet under snow. Inside, voices are low. The keeper checks the door latch, then leaves. The hearth crackles softly. This is a gentle place to rest. The road outside is hidden under a thin white layer, but it will be there tomorrow. For now, you can let your body sink into warmth, listening to the small sounds of comfort, and letting sleep come gradually, like snow settling on the ground. Morning after snowfall is bright and clean. The sky is pale blue. The road is covered with a thin layer of snow, marked by fresh tracks. The caravan moves carefully, but the snow is not deep. It crunches softly underfoot. Sunlight sparkles on the surface, making it look like scattered crystals. Travelers keep their steps small and sure. The animal's breath is visible. A traveler taps a camel's side gently, encouraging a steady pace. The world feels quieter in snow. Even distant sounds seem muffled. The air smells fresh. As you walk, you notice that the snow makes the landscape simpler. Rocks and shrubs are softened under white. That simplicity can calm the mind. You do not need to process many details. You can just follow the tracks and the slow movement of the caravan. Each breath in the cold air feels clear. The road continues, and so does the gentle rhythm of travel. At a junction, a wooden signpost stands. It has arrows pointing in different directions, each labeled in a different script. Some letters are faded, but the meaning is still there. This way to a river town. That way to a mountain pass. Another path toward an oasis. Travelers gather briefly, consulting maps and memory. The leader chooses the route calmly, considering water and time. There is no argument. Everyone trusts the experience of those who have walked before. The signpost creaks gently in the breeze. Snow sits on its crossbeam, then falls off in a small puff. You look at the arrows and feel the quiet wonder of choices. The Silk Road is not one road. It is many paths connected by need and habit. Yet in this moment, you only take one. The caravan turns, and the signpost remains behind, waiting for the next travelers. The decision feels simple and calm. You follow the chosen path, one steady step at a time. A narrow bridge leads into a village. Prayer ribbons are tied to the rail, fluttering softly. The bridge crosses a small river that runs clear and cold. The caravan pauses so the animals can cross one at a time. Hooves make hollow sounds on the wooden boards. A traveler touches one ribbon, then lets it go, watching it move. The village ahead is quiet. Smoke rises from chimneys. Dogs rest in doorways. As you enter, villagers look up briefly, then return to their tasks. Someone is splitting wood. Someone is carrying water. Life continues at a steady pace. The caravan finds a small place to rest and perhaps buy supplies. The bridge behind remains a gentle threshold, decorated with quiet hopes. Crossing it feels like entering a calmer world. You breathe in the smell of wood smoke and river water. The village is not a destination that ends the journey. It is another soft pause on the way, offering warmth and routine. In the village, an apothecary keeps jars of dried herbs. The jars line shelves, each labelled with careful writing. The air smells of mint, root, and dried flowers. A traveller enters and asks for something to soothe a cough or to calm a stomach after too much rough food. The apothecary listens, then measures herbs with a small spoon, grinding them in a mortar with slow turns. The pestle makes a soft, circular sound. The mixture is wrapped in paper and tied with string. Instructions are given calmly: how much to steep in water, how often to drink. This is another quiet skill that supports the road. Travellers need more than strong legs. They need care for the body. The apothecary's work is gentle and precise, like a quiet form of help. Watching the slow grinding can calm the mind, as if the worries inside you are being ground into something softer and easier to carry. In the village guest room, the window is small. Moonlight enters in a pale square. The room is quiet, with thick walls and a simple bed of boards covered by a mat. A traveller lies down and pulls a blanket up to the chin. Outside, a dog barks once, then stops. Somewhere, a goat shifts in its pen. The sounds are familiar and soft. The air smells faintly of wood smoke. The traveller's muscles release their tension. Feet, sore from walking, finally rest. Breathing becomes slow. The mind wanders briefly to the road ahead, then returns to the safety of the room. This is what the Silk Road offers: not only movement, but also many small safe nights. Each night is a chance to reset. Each night is a quiet chapter that ends without trouble. The moonlight stays steady, and sleep arrives like a gentle tide, rising over thoughts until they are covered. At sunrise, the caravan leaves the village. The plains stretch ahead, open and calm. The sky turns from pale pink to soft blue. The air is cool, and the ground is slightly damp. Travellers walk in silence for a while, letting the morning wake them slowly. A traveller adjusts a strap and feels it sit just right. Another takes a small sip of water and closes the flask. Birds rise from grass and fly low. The village behind becomes a small cluster, then disappears. The road resumes its familiar rhythm. Step, breathe, step. The repetition is soothing. It does not ask you to be clever or fast. It asks you to keep going with patience. As the sun lifts higher, warmth returns. The caravan line is steady and calm, moving through history without urgency. You move with it, letting the gentle morning light quiet your thoughts. On the plain, you see ruins of an old watchtower. It is only a broken square of stone now, half collapsed. Grass grows around it. Long ago, someone watched for bandits or for incoming caravans from this height. Now it watches nothing. The wind passes through cracks, making a faint sound. The caravan walks by without stopping. There is no need to climb the ruins. The road is safe enough today. Still, the tower's presence reminds you of the long effort it took to keep trade routes stable. Guards, walls, patrols, agreements between towns. Much of it is gone, but the road continues. The tower is a quiet relic, not a warning. It is simply a piece of the landscape. As you pass, you imagine the watchman sitting there, wrapped in a cloak, staring at the horizon in calm patience. The image is gentle. It shows that even vigilance can be slow and quiet, a steady gaze rather than a sudden alarm. At midday, the caravan stops under an awning, stretched between poles. Bowls are set out. Bread is broken by hand, and pieces are passed along. A small dish of olives or dried vegetables adds flavour. Water is poured carefully. People eat slowly, chewing without hurry. The rest is quiet, with only small sounds: bowls touching, cloth rustling, a camel chewing. Someone pours tea from a metal pot, letting it cool a moment before drinking. A traveler takes out a small packet of spices and adds a pinch to the food, then closes it again tightly. The meal is not large, but it is enough. Eating on the road is simple. It becomes satisfying because it is steady and shared. After the meal, people sit for a while, letting food settle. The awning flutters gently. The plain beyond is wide and bright. You rest, and your mind rests too, held by routine and the soft comfort of a quiet meal. As day ends, the sky turns red and orange. The caravan becomes a line of silhouettes. Camels' humps rise and fall against the light. Travelers' cloaks move gently in the evening breeze. The road is almost invisible now, but the group knows where to go. They are looking for a place to camp or an inn ahead. The air cools. The smell of dust fades. When the caravan stops, the last light sits low on the horizon, and the first stars appear. The transition from day to night is slow and calming. It feels like the world is turning down its volume. A small fire is lit. A pot warms. Blankets are spread. The red sky fades to purple, then to deep blue. The caravan's quiet routine returns, comforting and familiar. You can imagine yourself walking in that line, then sitting down, then lying back and letting the sky take your thoughts away. The road will continue tomorrow. Tonight, the sunset finishes the day gently, like closing a book without noise. At night, the fire is mostly embers. They glow red, pulsing softly as air moves. Hands are held near the warmth. A traveler turns a piece of bread over the heat, warming it slightly. Another pours the last cup of tea and drinks slowly, savoring warmth. The animals are quiet. The sky is dark and stars are steady. The world feels far away from any hurry. A traveler checks the ground for stones, then shifts a blanket to make a smoother place to sleep. Someone ties a rope again, making sure an animal will not wander in the dark. These actions are calm. They are part of the night's gentle routine. The embers gradually dim. The fire does not fight the night. It simply gives a little light, then rests. The same can be true for the mind. It can glow for a while, then soften and fade into sleep. You listen to the quiet crackle, and you let your thoughts slow down one by one, until there is only warmth and darkness. Dawn arrives softly over distant dunes. The camp is still. A few people stir, moving slowly. The air is cool and the sand is firm underfoot. Someone rekindles the fire with a small handful of twigs, and a faint flame appears. Water is warmed. Tea is brewed again, and the familiar scent rises. Travelers drink and wake gradually. Packs are lifted, straps tightened. Animals rise with their slow, careful movements. The sky brightens from grey to pale blue. There is no rush. The day is long. The road is patient. You step out with the caravan, leaving the camp behind. Footprints mark the sand. The wind will erase them later. That is fine. The road does not need to keep every mark. It only needs to keep going. You walk, calm and steady, letting the soft light of dawn keep your thoughts quiet. An ancient bridge crosses a wide river. Its arches reflect in the water, making gentle circles of stone and light. The bridge is built from fitted blocks, and its surface is worn smooth. Travelers approach and step onto it, feeling the solidity beneath their feet. The river below moves steadily, carrying leaves and small branches. The sound is calm, a constant hush. On the bridge, you can pause in the middle and look down. The height is not frightening. It is simply a different view. The caravan continues crossing in a slow line. Animals' hooves make soft taps on stone. A traveler runs a hand along the parapet, feeling cool stone warmed by sun. Bridges like this are quiet achievements. They hold for centuries, asking only for small repairs now and then. Crossing one feels like stepping through time, supported by patient workmanship. You reach the far side, and the bridge remains behind, still and reliable, waiting for the next line of travelers to cross in the same calm way. In a larger town, a tea house courtyard is shaded by a central tree. Small tables sit around it. People drink tea, play quiet games, or simply watch the day pass. The tea housekeeper moves from table to table with a pot, refilling cups. The pouring sound is soft, steady. A traveller sits and lets the legs rest, stretching feet slowly. Nearby, a merchant folds a cloth and ties it carefully, preparing goods for the next stage. A child brings fresh water in a small jug, walking with concentration. The courtyard feels like a calm island in the town. Leaves above move gently, making shifting light patterns on tables. The air smells of tea and wood. Conversation is low. Sometimes it stops, and silence sits comfortably. Tea houses are not only for business, they are for slowing down. They let time feel softer. You can sit here and breathe, letting the world move around you without needing your effort. The calm in a tea house is like a long exhale. A tea master prepares a careful brew. He measures leaves with a small scoop, then places them in a warmed pot. He pours hot water gently. Beside the pot, a small sand timer runs, grains falling in a thin stream. The tea master watches without staring. He waits until the sand reaches a certain mark, then pours the tea into cups. He does not waste motion. Each step is slow and precise. Travelers accept the cups with 2 hands, feeling the heat. The first sip is mild, then deepens. The taste is steady and grounding. The tea master pours again, and the second cup is slightly different, softer. This slow practice is calming. It turns a simple drink into a quiet ritual. You can watch the sand fall, grain by grain, and feel your own thoughts falling away in the same slow way. The world does not need quickness here. It needs patience, warmth, and steady attention. When you leave the town at twilight, the road is soft in the fading light. The tea house's warmth stays in your body. The sky is a gentle gradient, pale orange near the horizon, deeper blue above. The caravan moves quietly. Footsteps sound softer now. The animals are calm, their pace steady. In the distance, you can see a faint outline of another shelter, perhaps a small inn or a village. There is no urgency. Twilight travel feels like moving through a calm memory. The day's sharp edges have faded. You think less about tasks and more about simple sensations, the cool air on the face, the weight of a pack, the rhythm of steps. As darkness gathers, lanterns might appear ahead. The promise of rest is quiet and certain. You continue, and the road feels like a gentle path towards sleep. At night, you reach a final caravanserai for this part of the journey. Lanterns are dim, and the courtyard is quiet. The gate closes behind you with a soft thud. Inside, the air is still. A few travelers are already asleep, wrapped in blankets near the wall. You move gently so you do not disturb them. Animals are led to water, and then to a resting place. Packs are set down carefully, making only small sounds. A keeper points to a spot where you can sleep. You unroll a mat and lay a blanket down. Tea is offered, and you drink a little, feeling warmth settle in your stomach. The day's walking is done. The walls hold back wind and noise. The courtyard's darkness feels safe, like a room with the lights turned low. You lie down, and your body relaxes into the mat. Your breathing slows. The Silk Road is quiet tonight, and it is quiet inside you too. As the sun sets on this ancient world, imagine the long road resting for a moment. The morning light is soft, and the path is empty, waiting for the next footsteps. Caravanserais stand with their gates closed, holding the night's warmth. Tea houses prepare kettles, listening for the first quiet bubbles. The wind moves gently over sand and grass, smoothing away yesterday's tracks. You do not need to travel farther right now. You can simply be here, in the calm space between journeys. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your jaw soften. Breathe slowly and picture the road stretching out, peaceful and patient. The Silk Road does not hurry you. It has all the time in the world. Now the light grows lower. A single oil lamp flickers beside a sleeping mat. The flame is small, steady, and warm. Outside, the world is quiet. Inside, the air is still. You can imagine a blanket pulled up to your chest, heavy in a comforting way. The sounds are soft, a distant animal breathing, a faint creak of wood, the gentle settling of walls as the night cools. There is nothing you must do. The road can wait. Trade can wait. Even thoughts can wait. If a thought arrives, let it pass like a traveler walking through a gate. Do not hold it. Let it continue on. Return to the calm feeling of the room, the warm lamp, and your steady breathing. Picture a moonlit courtyard again, very still. A fountain makes a barely audible trickle. The stone is cool, and the moonlight paints pale shapes on the ground. Travelers sleep in corners, wrapped in cloth, faces relaxed. The night watch moves slowly, then disappears behind a column. The gate is closed, and the road outside is silent. You can feel the safety of thick walls and familiar routine. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Let your breathing become slower, as if you are matching the fountain's calm rhythm. The Silk Road has carried so many tired people, and it has given them nights like this. It offers you the same quiet kindness. There is no need to stay awake. You can drift gently into sleep. Above a resting camp, the stars remain bright and steady. The fire is out now, only a faint warmth left in the ashes. The animals are settled. The wind is calm. The sky looks deep and endless, but it does not feel cold. It feels like a quiet ceiling over the world. You can imagine the slow breathing of the camp, the gentle rise and fall of chests under blankets. The road continues beyond sight, but tonight it is quiet. Let your mind become as wide as the sky, open and empty of effort. Thoughts can be small stars, distant and harmless. You do not need to follow them. Simply notice the calm darkness between them. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel yourself sinking into stillness. Finally, imagine the first light touching the ancient road. It is very gentle, almost like a whisper. The edges of the world soften. Colors become pale and smooth. The details of stones, cloth and walls fade into a calm blur. The Silk Road is still there, patient, but it no longer needs your attention. Your journey for tonight is finished. You have walked through caravanserais and tea houses, through deserts and rivers, through quiet rooms and open skies. Now you can rest completely. Let your breathing slow even more. Let your muscles release. If you hear any sound, let it become part of the background, like distant water or wind. Stay with the softness of this fading light, and allow sleep to settle over you, warm and steady, until there is only quiet.